I'm sure these 5 Russian letters drive you crazy. And it doesn't matter if you continue learning Russian language or if you're just a beginner, they always confuse you. Of course, as you can guess, I'm talking about zh, sh, ts, ch, sh. They don't only look similar, they sound similar as well. If you're new on this channel, my name is Alina, and today I'll help you to learn the difference between these letters. I'll give you the tips on how to pronounce them correctly, and we'll practice them together. So you won't have any problem with these letters never again. Let's begin. These 5 letters are actually quite easy because in English you have similar sounds for all of them. So it's not the problem to pronounce them, it's just sometimes a problem to differentiate them and to remember which one is what, because as I said, they also look similar. And it happens because in English for these sounds you have a letter combination. You have several letters together to produce this sound. And in Russian, we have special letter for each of these sounds. That's the only difference in English and Russian. So let's begin with the letter zh. Zh sound. This one is very close to the sound zh in such English words as pleasure, vision. Zh, zh. Pleasure. If you try to practice Russian words, try to do it going from the English word to Russian, like the word жена. Pleasure, жена. Pleasure, жена. You hear it's almost the same, just Russian zh, it's a little bit harsher. And let's look at other words with this zh sound at the beginning of the word and in the middle of the Russian words, just to practice it in different positions. Each word that I'm giving you, you can repeat after me and try to memorize the pronunciation for each word. Жаль, живот, желание, желтый, жук, кожа, пижама, вижу, ниже, уже, нужно, каждый. That's it for zh. Now let's move on to the sh sound in Russian. Letter sh. Again, in English you have pretty similar sound in such words as Russian. Russian, штат, sh, sh. Again, this Russian sh is a little bit harsher than in English. And let's practice again in different positions, but this time sh also can be at the end of the word. Zh. Also, if you ask me about the zh, why we didn't have this letter at the end of the words, we could have it at the end of the word, at the end of Russian words, but it will sound exactly like sh, because we make it voiceless at the end of the word. But that's not the topic of today's lesson. A little bit later I'll make a video about these voiced and voiceless Russian consonants, so wait for it. So sh is always voiceless, so there is no problem in pronouncing this word. Let's practice. Again, repeat after me every word I'm saying. Шанс, шум, шок, широкий, шея, уши, дешево, машина, душ, мышь. The last 2 words, душ, мышь. If you can see, one is with soft sign and another one without soft sign. So you might think that they should sound differently. But no, in Russian, sh is always hard, so it doesn't matter if you put soft sign after it, it won't make it softer, simply because it's impossible. So dush and mysh have the same sound at the end. The next one is Russian ts sound. This one is very similar to the ts combination in English, like in that's, ts at the end. That's царь. Ts, ts. Again, ts is a little bit harsher than in English. simply because all these three consonants, they are always hard. J, sh, s cannot be soft. And let's practice a few words where you'll find ts in different positions. Царица, цель, цукини, цена, цирк, лицо, птица, нация, акция, принц. The next one is ch. Ch is the opposite of the previous three because ch is always soft in Russian. And if you watched my video about soft and hard sign, you remember that I told you that when we pronounce soft sounds, soft consonants, we will smile a little bit. It'll help us to pronounce the words softer. Ch is usually easy for foreigners, especially for English-speaking people, because you have the same sound in child, for example. Ch, ch combination gives you this ch sound. Child, час, ch, час. And let's practice a few words. Чай, черный, чек, чипсы, сдача, горячий, печенье, ручка, врач, дочь. As I told you, ch is always soft. So this time, again, it doesn't matter if we have soft sign or not. Here we always will pronounce it softly. Врач, дочь. And the last one, usually the most complicated sound and letter out of these five from the Russian alphabet. That would be sound sh. In English, it's not really common to have this letter combination, but we can find it in the word combination fresh chicken. Fresh chicken, she. Sh, she. It's softer than sh because sh is always soft in Russian. Let's practice and repeat after me. Щит, щедрый, щавель, щелк, площадь, пещера, защита, еще, плащ, вещь. Again, плащ, вещь. One is without soft sign, another one with a soft sign. Doesn't matter, we pronounce them both softly because sh is always soft. And that's it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope now you won't have any problems with these 5 letters and you will pronounce all these sounds perfectly like Russian. Subscribe for my channel to learn Russian with me.